Hello, hello. Today we are going to be reading The Strange, Sad Case of Laci Green, feminist hero turned anti-feminist defender. She built a community to protect the abused. Now she's on the side of the abusers. What happened to YouTuber Laci Green? Right away, they're framing it as if Laci Green is now pro-abuse or pro-abusers. This also is kind of equating anti-SJWs with abusers. I already don't like this. Anyone who's marginalized knows the dangers of online harassment, and YouTuber Laci Green, who rose to prominence by conducting online sex education content on behalf of Planned Parenthood and Discovery News, has faced some of the worst of it. In addition to the usual vile comments and death threats, she's contended with physical harm as well, in the form of objects thrown in her direction during speaking engagements. Alright, little correction here. It says anyone who's marginalized knows the dangers of online harassment. No, anyone who's been harassed online knows the dangers. It's not exclusive to marginalized people. According to a large Pew Research Center study, Green's experience is startlingly common. 73% of adult online users have seen harassment happen to someone else, while 40% have experienced it themselves, with marginalized creators facing a disproportionate amount of abuse. In light of this, last December, Green decided to take matters into her own hands by starting a secret Facebook group to share resources, tips, and block lists in order to deal with abuse. She also shared various methods for filtering out abusive comments with YouTube's new comment moderation system. Her influence in this space has been considerable. With 1.5 million subscribers on her YouTube channel, a lot of people listen to what Green has to say. Last year, she was even named one of the 30 most influential people on the internet by Time, all of which makes her recent turn deeply troubling. In late May, seemingly out of the blue, Green dramatically shifted her tone on harassment. Now I'm going to stop right there. Shifted her tone on harassment. And you see, under shifted her tone, there's underlined, that's a link. That link takes you to this video, the big one, the taking the red pill video. I watched it through 2 times before recording this, and I'm pretty sure that she never even spoke the word harassment, so she never condoned it or condemned it. It didn't even come up in this video. There's no point where she says, you know what, maybe harassment isn't as bad as I used to think it was. No, that just doesn't happen. So why this is like a cited source of how she shifted her tone on harassment is beyond me, because there's nothing even remotely like that. Where she once supported the abused, she suddenly began questioning why there's more than 2 genders. See, no, it's not that she declared that there's only 2 genders, which she didn't, but the fact that she's even questioning if there's more than 2 is a crime, is a bad thing. Anytime someone discourages questioning anything, be very concerned about it. Be very concerned. Alright, so back to the article, questioning why there's more than 2 genders, and arguing that both sides of the argument are valid for everything from racism to transphobia to misogyny. What? And so that link there links to this video, the second red pill video, and at no point did Laci Green ever say, like, you know what, those white supremacists have a point that we should, like, no. This video, like the first red pill video, is about her self-reflection on herself, her opinions, the groups she's in, her community, and being dissatisfied with what people were doing, and wanting to try and look at the other side to see what's there to learn, to grow more. That's all it's about. Like, she's not sitting there and saying, you know, I've been thinking maybe whites are better than everyone. Like, no, that's not there. Why is this cited as a source again? It's not there. In a stunning example of her newfound hypocrisy, she called feminist YouTuber and fellow member of her anti-harassment Facebook group, Cat Black, a sociopath, and earlier this month she tweeted the following. I don't know anything about the Cat Black stuff, but this tweet, I agree with everything in it. So, like, what's the problem? The article does not point out where the problem is with this tweet. So, in a series of videos, Green revealed that her shift was a result of red pilling, the term for a twisted, matrix inspired recruitment process coined by men's right advocates, pickup artists, and the alt right. The process involves a recruiter who attempts to position white supremacists as oppressed truth tellers while spinning phony racial and gender science as free speech that's being trampled on by feminists and the political left. Like, wow. Wow, that's some shit right there. Like, this recruiter stuff is some paranoia. And it sounds like stuff I've heard from the right before. Like, it's never someone sharing their opinion. No, they're a recruiter with an agenda to recruit you to the cause. It's ridiculous. Like, oh my god. There's so much wrong with this little snippet right here. Green, it seems, was red-pilled after appearing in a debate with the prominent anti-feminist Blair White, a trans woman, alt-right anti-feminist, and generally vile YouTuber who has said that trans women who get beat up or murdered deserve it for tricking men. So, like, I know this, like, just looking at the title, like, this video does look like it's going to be bad, I have to say. I think Blair could have worded it better because the way it is, it's just, it looks really bad. Fat people should be shamed until they lose weight.
I don't think that making fun of someone because of their weight or to get them to lose weight is effective.
Oh wow, it kind of seems like she said the exact opposite of that, and that refugees should be gassed. Everything about Blair White's political opinions and her sense of humor lead me to believe that this is just an edgy joke. While it appears Green's appearance on White's channel marked an important milestone in Green's red pilling, her turn may also be related to a relationship she formed with anti-feminist YouTuber Chris Ray Gunn, who made a video last year saying those condemning Trump's grab him by the pussy comments were missing chromosomes. See, she's almost right here. There's just a little bit of context changes it. I'll show you.
So if you're upset with Trump's words, but you're okay with these people's actions, then you're just a hypocrite and you've probably had a couple of chromosomes stolen.
Yeah, there's a very small detail there that really changes that statement, doesn't it? And has claimed that white supremacists are just being funny.
Either way, his speech was creepy and weird, and people were giving the Sig Heil salute and shit. Are they being sarcastic? Are they being genuine? I don't know. It's all a fucking fever dream, so who cares?
I guess that's accurate if creepy and weird means funny. In any case, that someone so influential in the progressive online space could make such a complete 180 has shaken the social justice community to its core. How could a defender of equality change so much so quickly? And what does it mean for those who had come to trust Green's safe space online? The answers to these questions are chillingly incomplete, and raise questions anew about the safety of online spaces for those who routinely face harassment. To understand the gravity of Green's shift, it's important to grasp how online harassment has evolved over the years, and how profound its dangers can be. When Green created her anti-harassment Facebook group, it was largely in response to the rising trend of response videos, YouTube videos created by trolls who have devoted their lives to attacking feminist content. Like, that's really childish. So they say everyone who makes response videos are trolls who devote their lives to this for the sake of trolling. Right. Creators of these videos often claim their content does not itself constitute harassment, while simultaneously ignoring the actions of their followers, who frequently bombard their targets with an overwhelming number of slurs and violent messages. Again, like, this is always brought up, like, and the way it's worded here is, like, implying that one thing negates the other, that, followers being abusive, it negates their claim that their videos are not harassment, and it doesn't. The two things are separate. I'm not going to read through these few parts, but I'm going to have them up on screen so you can pause and read if you want. basically is talking to Lindsay Amer, who is the queer kid stuff lady, talking about harassment on YouTube, the YouTube algorithm, how disabling comments can be harmful to your views, and stuff like that. And now it goes into the Anita Sarkeesian Sargon of Akkad incident at VidCon, which um, I'm sure you know about if you're watching this, because I'm not going to be the first person you see talk about this, that's for sure. Um, I particularly take issue with how it's comparing Sargon complaining about Sarkeesian speaking fees and comparing that to his money he gets from his videos and from Patreon. They're not equivalent. Patreon is donations from fans that give willingly. He's not setting a charge that you must pay this to get anything to hear me talk. That's what Arnita does. She's like, you want to hear me talk? Pay me this. But Patreon is not the same as that. And the fact that his Twitter followers suspected bias is shown to be absolutely true because of this very article. It's chocked full of bias. There's a bit more dilly-dallying around with the VidCon incident, but as soon as that's over, we get back to Laci again. I gotta apologize, I'm kinda trying to breeze through what I can, because I'm pretty sure I can't make videos longer than 15 minutes. I'm not all verified on YouTube. One day I will be when I have my stuff set up, but anyway, back to the reading. To be fair, of course, online harassment is extremely complex and hardly solely the fault of Green. Well, it's almost kind of implying that it's partially her fault. And to be quite honest, I couldn't care less who her boyfriend is or what her politics are. I doubt that. But to suddenly turn around and whitewash years of abuse is inexcusable. Gaslighting actual abuse victims by downplaying their trauma and equating it with hurt feelings, especially with such a large platform, is an unconscionable violation, especially knowing herself the results of such toxicity. Now, this is the closest thing I could find in one of the linked videos that could be remotely construed as that.
My opinion is that speech can be emotionally harmful if it causes pain or shame or dehumanizes you. It can also be physically harmful if it incites or advocates violence against someone. But these two harms don't pose the same amount of threat to an individual in the context of political speech. So they shouldn't be treated as equal forms of violence. If we're going to say a slur is just as violent as punching someone in the face, to me, that minimizes the egregiousness of punching someone in the face.
She's saying that you shouldn't equate verbal abuse with physical attacks, and she's right, because that demeans the impact of physical violence against another person. She's absolutely right. And some people like to feel like words are violence, like, oh, if you misgender me, that's violence. Well, fuck that. So if you consider that downplaying, I guess that there it is. Below this, there's a picture of Laci Green's YouTube page, and notice how they have it like this, and that's the video that they're showing, but actually right now, this is what her page looks like. I can't help but wonder if they did that on purpose or not, based on the content of the article so far. Green and others in her newfound camp often claim that this is an issue of protected dissent and free speech, but it's hard to imagine any context in which sending death threats, or telling a Jewish woman to get in an oven, or even labeling someone a sociopath can be taken as simple civil dissent, especially considering how abusive language can and does manifest as physical threats. That's ridiculous. No one claims that saying those horrible things is civil dissent. It's free speech, but it's not civil dissent. It's being an asshole, which is protected under free speech. Don't complain. I'm running out of time and my brain is breaking. Sorry to end things so quickly, but I'm really running out of time. But here's the last part. You can pause and read it for yourself. Thanks for watching. See you some other time.